Hello there. Welcome to the Worthy Remembrance. This is our foundational curriculum that sets the tone for the entire space. We are very, very interested in this being the foundational element that helps you to remember some truths about yourself. You are worthy. You were born worthy. You've always been worthy. That you're here is an indication that you are interested in reclaiming, reconnecting with that truth, deepening that truth, embodying that truth. Um, and so this curriculum is foundational to this space, the Worthy Remembrance, which is a part of the Worthiness Sanctuary. It's what we call the sanctuary within the sanctuary. And my name is Michelle Hollinger. I am honored that you are joining me for this foundational curriculum. There are 12 modules. We drop one module each month. Very deliberate about the pacing, very deliberate about this being an experience of embodiment and immersion and integration and a self-paced, a self-paced experience that you get to indulge in as little or as much as you choose. We're starting out with the first module centering safety because it is absolutely essential. You will find us speaking about safety throughout the Worthiness Remembrance because when you know that your body is safe, your nervous system takes that signal and you are able to function in a way that allows you to be the person that you're meant to be, that allows you to do the things that you are meant to do. And that's essential. That's important. You deserve that. You're worthy of that. And so let's get into it. Let's get into it. I think I introduced myself. I am Michelle Hollinger. And the reason that I created, let me tell you why I created the Worthiness Sanctuary. I created because of the work that I've done on the topic of worthiness, understanding how significant worthiness is to our lives. And and so there are other components that I'll speak about later, but there are other components available to you in the Worthiness Sanctuary. The Worthiness Remembrance is specifically for women who have experienced childhood sexual abuse. And this is a password protected area because our privacy is essential and important to me. And this space allows you to make the correlation between some of the limitations, some of the struggles and obstacles you may face as an adult to what you experienced as a little girl, and to understand that there's nothing wrong with you, that you are worthy, you've always been worthy, and nothing ever diminished your worthiness. It just compromised your access to your worthiness. And so this space is about just providing you an atmosphere, a safe, supportive atmosphere where you are able to reconnect to that truth, the truth of your worthiness. And so the very first thing that we like to establish in this space is that you are safe. You are safe. And safety is an essential element in worthiness remembrance because it was one of the things that was compromised when we were little girls. And so as adults, to know that we're safe allows us to connect with parts of ourselves that we've been disconnected from, like our authenticity. And so safety first is why we're starting out with this particular topic. The modules for the first objective are that participants will understand why safety is prioritized. I talked about that a little bit just now, but we'll go a little bit deeper into it. As a pastor say, I won't keep you long with this first module. This is an introduction to why this work is so important and what you can expect by spending time in worthy remembrance, and worthy remembrance. Um, but yeah, starting out with safety. Safety is prioritized because it is an essential component to fully embodying the fullness of our lives, fully embodying all that we are. When we are able to move around in this world and know within that we're safe, know that our bodies are safe right now. It sets the tone for how we're able to function. We will also experience agency through breath and choice. We'll talk about how you can experience agency through breath and choice. Breathing is an absolutely essential component to informing your body that it's safe, and we'll go into greater detail about that. We will also talk about how we begin to rebuild trust with the body, with our bodies. We'll release the belief that healing requires reliving. You don't have to relive anything in order for you to feel safe and healed in your body. We prioritize helping your body recognize the safety of now. Because we were exposed to experiences in childhood that compromised our safety and compromised our ability to feel safe in our bodies, it's so important that as adults that we recognize that we are far more powerful than we realize, and that we have the power. We have the power as adults to connect with, to deepen, to expand, to understand, to align with safety in our bodies, right? And so, in order to help facilitate that, in worthy remembrance, we are very respectful of you and your right to safety in your body. So, you will never ever be asked to relive or disclose anything about the CSA that you experienced in your childhood. We believe in agency. We believe that self agency helps set the tone for you living the life that you are meant to live, the life that you are deserving of living, the life of freedom, the life of safety, the life of abundance, the life of health, the life of joy that you are deserving of. And so the pace that you set is entirely, I like that word, entirely up to you. How or whether you continue with this curriculum, with anything in worthy remembrance, with anything throughout the Worthiness Sanctuary, is entirely up to you. Autonomy. You are in charge of yourself. No one else is in charge of you. You are in charge of yourself. You have control over how you move through this space. And so it's important for you to know that pausing is success, it's not avoidance. You are not avoiding anything. You are listening to your body when you recognize that you need to take a pause from this curriculum, or take a pause from worthy remembrance, or take a pause from the Worthiness Sanctuary. You are honoring your body. You are listening to your body. And that is something to be commended, not condemned. Super, super important that we begin to deepen our understanding of our bodies, right? CSA conveyed to us a disconnection from our bodies, conveyed to us that we were not in control of our bodies, conveyed to us that we don't have power over our bodies, that we didn't have power over our bodies, but we do. It's so important to understand that or to begin to understand that as an adult, if there are areas of your life where you are experiencing struggles, limitations, if you are engaging in survival skills like people pleasing, dimming your light, suppressing your authenticity, it is so important for me to say to you that there's nothing wrong with you, that you adapted brilliantly to circumstances that no child should ever have to experience. And that those survival skills went with you into adulthood is not an indication that there's anything wrong with you. It's an indication that you are still very interested in protecting yourself. It's an indication that the trauma that you experienced does not only exist in our memories, but it primarily exists in our bodies, right? In our nervous system. And beginning to understand that we have a, an intimate relationship, a very important relationship with our nervous system, and specifically with our vagus nerve, is the beginning of creating space within ourselves, within our consciousness, to prioritize safety in our bodies, to reclaim safety in our bodies, right? It's important to remember that, or to consider that your body as an adult is doing the best it can to protect you, right? Your body learned that it was necessary to protect you, and it did what it needed to do by developing survival skills to help you to feel safe in spaces where you did not feel safe. Your body did what it needed to do. And now that you are safe, because you are safe, it is important I keep using that phrase, it is important, and it is important. But it is important that you recognize the power that you have to create safety within your body, that you recognize the power and the agency and the autonomy that you have to expand a sense of safety within you, that you have the power now, in this now moment, to communicate to your body that we are about to begin a journey back to ourselves, back to our worthiness, back to our agency, back to our autonomy, back to our safety, back to our freedom, back to our power. Areas of our lives, areas of ourselves that may have been suppressed due to CSA, that we get to reactivate now in our own time, at our own pace, beginning with embracing and honoring that our bodies are safe. Breathing, which we'll talk about in a second, is an essential tool to signal to your body that it is safe. Just a caveat here. Breathing can definitely calm you down, but that is not our focus to calm you down. The breathing that we will engage in is about helping your body to remember that it has a choice, and that while the survival skills were necessary and the survival skills were important, they played a role. They played a role, right? We are letting our body know now that it is okay to begin the process of releasing the survival skills when you are ready. And so let's take a moment here to engage with our breathing, to engage our breath, because I mentioned the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is the superhighway, has been called the superhighway in your nervous system. When you are in a situation where stress is introduced, um, one of the first things that is affected is the way that we're breathing. We don't even notice our breath anymore. We don't, if we did at all. And that's totally normal. Our breathing becomes extremely shallow. We're not noticing our breath. The breath, that the breathing is short and erratic and in alignment with the stress that we are experiencing, right? And one of the most important messages that we can give to our vagus nerve is that in this very moment, you are safe. We are safe. And we do that by communicating with our vagus nerve through breathing. And so let's do one experience of breathing right now to give you an example of what I mean and what's available throughout the Worthy Remembrance section of the Worthiness Sanctuary. And so we'll start here by getting centered. If you feel comfortable doing so, you can close your eyes. And so what we'll do here now is to take a slow, deep breath in through our nose. And what we'll do here, so you'll know before we start, we'll take a slow, deep breath for about 5 seconds in through our nose. We're going to hold it for 2 seconds. And then we're going to breathe out through our mouths for about 6, 7 seconds. And so the idea is that the exhale will be a little bit longer than the inhale, and the message that sends to our nervous system and specifically to our vagus nerve is that we are safe. Is that we are safe. Okay? And so we're going to start now with a nice slow breath in through the nose. Hold it for 2 seconds. And now we're breathing out through our mouth. We'll rest in that space for a couple of seconds. And then we'll repeat that process with a nice slow breath in, about 5 seconds. Holding for 2. Breathing out through our mouth. Resting in that space. And trying one more round. About 5 seconds in through our nose. Holding for 1, 2. Breathing out through our mouths. Resting. Thank you for participating in that breathing exercise. If you did not participate, thank you for honoring yourself by choosing what was best for you. If nothing came up for you, that is totally okay. We weren't looking for anything to come up. If something did come up, honor it, sit with it. You are safe. You are safe. You are safe. I'd like to invite you to consider incorporating that activity, the breathing in for about 5 seconds, holding for 2 seconds, breathing out for about 6 or 7 seconds, to incorporate that into your day if it feels comfortable for you, if it feels aligned with where you are right now. One of the things that is, again, very, very important is that we start to communicate to our nervous system, that we start to communicate to our vagus nerve that we are safe. that we are safe. Once a day, if that feels comfortable, more if that feels comfortable, or anytime you feel activated, if anytime you feel yourself in a stressful situation, if you are in traffic and you are starting to feel some stress creep into the moment, you don't have to close your eyes. You can just, in that moment, take that slow, deep breath in, hold it for a couple of seconds, and then breathe out through your mouth. You are in control. You are in control, and you get to decide how and when you use this breathing exercise to ground yourself, to remind yourself that you are safe. Another important function that we provide in the Worthy Remembrance is journaling. And again, everything is optional. I need you to understand me when I say that everything is optional. If you want to come and sit in the Worthy Remembrance section of the Worthiness Sanctuary and just chill and just browse and just see what's there without ever doing anything, that is totally your prerogative. And there is nothing wrong with that. If, however, you want to indulge, journaling is one of the activities that we provide in this space. And we provide prompts to give you um, a direction to flow with, right? And so, some examples of prompts that you might see throughout the Worthy Remembrance section will be in alignment with what we offer here. And so, if you feel so inclined, you can, and I encourage you to do this in a hard journal if you have one available, or if you end up purchasing one, to handwrite what your responses are to the prompts. Very, very, very soothing, very neurologically beneficial practice to write out what you are experiencing. It is also helpful if you simply want to use the digital space that we have available in the app. Totally private, totally protected. No one else has access to what you are writing. Your anonymity is totally protected. You don't ever have to reveal who you are. That is absolutely essential that you know that this is a safe space. And so the options available to you as it relates to journaling include actually writing in your own journal, handwriting in your own journal, or using the digital drop down space available here in the app. So, as it relates to what we've experienced today, you might want to consider asking yourself what felt supportive, neutral, or even slightly relieving. Where did I feel choice today? What does my body need more of as I continue? So important for you to honor yourself, to honor your pace, to listen to your body, to listen to what you need, to honor what you need, to ask yourself what you need, to ask yourself what you need, and then to honor what your body reveals to you. So in the remembrance community, we also have a community forum, um, because I think it's important for those of us who have experienced CSA as little girls to know that we're not alone. We are not alone. And so the community is one way of reinforcing that. So, if you are so inclined, there are spaces within the Remembrance community where you can um, communicate how you're feeling. There are different components within the Remembrance community. If you want to remain, you know, a solo and private, you can do that too. You don't have to participate in any of the areas where I'm getting caught up with my words here, where recording your feelings is invited. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. If you want to, you are totally and completely welcome to do so. It is Your choice. Some days you might want to participate, and some days you might not want to participate, and that is totally fine. You are in control here. You are safe. The other parts of Worthy Remembrance include a shared reading space. I have a list of books that you might find helpful as you navigate this space back to yourself, as you navigate the space back to your authenticity, back to your worthiness, back to the truth of who you are. There are some books that you might find helpful. Um, if you have books that are not on the list that you have engaged with and you have found helpful on your journey to reclaim your safety, to reclaim your sovereignty, to reclaim the power that you have inside of you that was suppressed, please feel free to shoot me an email, or you can post in the community forum books that you would recommend that we consider adding to the shared reading space. You will also see a space in Worthy Remembrance where meditations are available to you. These are guided meditations. They are short, uh, guided meditations that I have put together that address or that align with certain areas that you might be working through. Feel free to participate in all of them, one or two of them, none of them. Again, you are in control here. You are safe. You move at your pace. You participate in what you feel like participating in. It is totally up to you. I already mentioned that we have journaling available throughout the space. Take that and use it if you will. If it's not something that is calling to you right now, maybe you want to, postpone your participation in the journaling. Whatever you decide is completely up to you, but it's available for you. And then we definitely include breath work throughout every single component of Worthy Remembrance, because the breath work is just such an important tool, and it's something that you have easy access to wherever you are, whatever you're doing, to just take that time to give yourself the gift of taking a few deep breaths. Just sending that message to the vagus nerve and to your nervous system that you are safe. You also have access to every single component of the Worthiness Sanctuary. You are in Worthy Remembrance, which is the password protected space for us, right? But you also have access to other aspects of the Worthiness Sanctuary, because we are whole, complete people, and there are other components of our lives that we may want to indulge, we may want to engage, we may want to participate in the content that is available to that helps us to ground ourselves in our worthiness, that helps us to to move back into our worthiness, because we're born worthy, we're worthy right now, we'll always be worthy, right? And so the worthy self is where it all starts, because the relationship with ourself is the relationship that sets the tone for every single relationship we have in our lives. It's the foundation for the quality of our lives. And so the worthy self is available to you in the Worthiness Sanctuary. And then you also have worthy parents. This, if you are a parent, is mm, such a beautiful space to exist in, because not only does it help you to understand the significance of worthiness as a parent, right? But by helping you to understand um, how easy it is to help your child to know that they're worthy by the way that you interact with them, right? By the way that you engage with them, by the way that you speak with them, by the way that you are available to them, right? It also has a multifaceted component to it, because as you are becoming mindful of the importance of worthiness in the parenting realm with your own children, you can't help but to consider the presence of worthiness or unworthiness in how you were parented by your own parents, right? And so it opens you up to a bigger level of understanding about how you were parented, and being able to understand how worthiness shows up in our own lives, and how, going back to worthy self, when we are anchored in our worthiness, it infuses it has ripple effects into every single relationship that we have. And one of the most important relationships is the relationship that we have with our children, so as worthy parents, right? And so as you are understanding and engaging in and forgiving yourself, perhaps for showing up from a space of unworthiness in those times in the parenting relationship, where you weren't aware of the stress that you were under, and that it impacted the sense of worthiness that you were feeling, and that spilled over into the parenting relationship. When you are in a space of affording yourself forgiveness, or affording yourself compassion, cutting yourself slack as a parent, it opens you up to being able to extend forgiveness, compassion, and cutting your own parents some slack in the parenting relationship. Even as adults, even when we are adults, we get to do that with our own parents, and to have that level of understanding. You also have access to worthy relationships in the Worthiness Sanctuary. Understanding the role of worthiness in a relationship is pure treasure, because many of the struggles that we face in relationships, in marriages and committed relationships, stem from unworthiness. They stem from not being aware that unworthiness can be the culprit that has us shrinking in a relationship, that has us disappearing in a relationship, that has us people pleasing in a relationship, that has our partner shutting down, that has our partner assuming that we understand what's going on with them. Unworthiness can be the culprit that throws a monkey wrench in a relationship, and the worthy relationships component of the Worthiness Sanctuary helps you to start to peel back those layers. And so all of those components are available to you in the Worthiness Sanctuary. Um, Last thing I want to do is to thank you for investing in yourself, to thank you for prioritizing your worthiness, for prioritizing your safety, for prioritizing you, for recognizing that there is a direct correlation between some of the obstacles and limitations that you may be facing as an adult. There's a direct correlation to your experience of CSA, and you're not crazy. There's nothing wrong with you. um, it makes perfect sense for you to have engaged, or to be engaging in survival skills to help you to feel safe, and in spaces where you did not feel safe, right? And for that to have lingered into your adulthood. You are in a space now where you are safe. You are in a space now where you can peel back those layers whenever you feel like it. You are in a space now where honoring your worthiness and your authenticity um, are priorities. And I'm so glad that you are here. I am so grateful that you are here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for investing in yourself. Thank you for taking this journey through the Worthy Remembrance.